Some of us didn't grow up dreaming about who we become. We grew up managing crises, reading the room, carrying responsibilities that were never meant to be ours. And somewhere along the way, we mistook survival for strength. Lena grew up fast. Not because she wanted to, but because life didn't give her another option. By the time she was still supposed to be a child, she already knew how to cook full meals, how to clean a house quietly, how to anticipate moods before they turned into storms. She learned how to be useful, how to stay out of the way, how to become dependable before she ever got to be carefree. There were bills to worry about, emotions to manage that weren't her own, silences that felt heavy, like something bad might happen if she didn't stay alert. So she stayed alert. At school, teachers called her mature for her age. Family members praised her for being responsible. People leaned on her because she never seemed to fall. And for a long time, Lena believed this was just who she was. Strong, capable, unshakable. She told herself she didn't need help, that she preferred independence, that she was built differently. But the truth was quieter than that. She wasn't born strong. She was forced to adapt. Years later, long after the chaos of her childhood had faded, Lena found herself exhausted in ways sleep couldn't fix. She carried guilt when she rested, anxiety when she said no, a constant pressure to stay useful, even when no one was asking. One night, sitting alone after another long day of holding everything together, something finally clicked. She wasn't tired because she was weak. She was tired because she had never stopped carrying the weight she picked up as a child. Strength hadn't been her natural gift. It had been her survival strategy. And survival strategies are heavy. For the first time, Lena allowed herself to question something she had never questioned before. What if I don't have to carry this anymore? What if being the strong one isn't my identity, but a role I was forced into? What if the part of me that feels overwhelmed isn't broken, but finally asking to be heard? This realization didn't come with fireworks or relief. It came with grief. Grief for the childhood she never got to have, for the softness she postponed, for the years she spent believing her worth came from how much she could endure. But grief also made space. Space to rest without explaining. Space to need without apologizing. Space to begin setting down what was never hers to hold. If you grew up too soon, this might feel familiar. You might call yourself independent, but feel deeply uncomfortable relying on anyone. You might be praised for being strong, but feel unseen in your exhaustion. You might struggle to rest because slowing down once meant things fell apart. Recognizing your early burdens isn't about blaming the past. It's about understanding the weight you've been carrying and realizing this. You don't have to keep proving your strength. You don't have to earn rest. You don't have to hold everything together anymore. You were never meant to do that alone. If this story felt close to home, take a moment to notice what you're still carrying. You don't have to put it all down today. Even loosening your grip is brave. And if you'd like, stay here for the next reflection. We'll keep exploring these quiet truths, gently and at your pace.